Hi and welcome back to another advent calendar video. Today I have drawn a little gingerbread man for you. It is fun. I have thought I love these cookies, and this little gingerbread man is a nice topic to draw. We also practice to draw lights and shadows and create these sugar decorations that is popping up, so create a 3D effect. I hope you like that and use it for your Christmas cards, for greetings, gift tags and so on. So let's have fun, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my videos. Now let's start drawing. Hi! Here in this video we draw a little gingerbread man, also so a typical Christmas topic. So I go in here and sketch in so a little gingerbread man. Just draw the head in so like a circle, and then draw some lines to the right and to the left. Then make so a half bow downwards, maybe a little bit longer. And then here we have these little legs. So bows downwards, maybe make that a little bit to the inner side. Yes, and so sketch in so a little man, gingerbread man. Maybe let's the head go a little bit more inside here. Continue drawing the circle. Yes, make the hands the same size. And then make it a bit three-dimensional. So I just correct here a little bit. Let it stand here. And let's add a bit shadow below, I would say, here on the ground, to create that illusion that it stands. Add shadow here below. And we also have to add then a side. So the light here is coming from the left upper part, so let's darken down here the head. Let's make it here so that we see the left side of the head here a bit darker, and here the left side, that we make that, and the lower parts here a bit darker, and also here below that we see the left side of that leg. And also sketch in some eyes, some little bulls, and with white that we here sketch in some eyebrows and a little smiling mouth, and also add so this sugar line around. Draw here so a white line around, and we have to give that then also a bit of a three-dimensional look. Maybe make here some so bows like a necklace. Make them here a bit rounder. And let's add here so little buttons, and make here so a zigzag line, one to the other side. Just sketch that in. We will work on it then more for sure. I also add a little bit snowy sugar parts here below on the bottom. And let's also draw some evergreen branches here. I like to add here some branches in the back and maybe a nice Christmas bowl. Why not doing it a bit pink at that? So bringing here a little Christmas ornament in. Also add white here as a highlight right away and sketch in this upper part. Yes, and then we draw a bit of a background. So let's use a golden ochre for the underpainting of that gingerbread man. So take a nice golden color and I plot it here in. Also in here where we have the face, plot it in around the white strokes. Here draw carefully around the white strokes. I have drawn them before because they should show up brilliantly, and if you do them afterwards they could mix with the layers below. So plot in your pastel pigment of the golden ochre here. Also here on the left parts, draw that gingerbread. Plot in here the golden ochre color, also here around. We see a bit of the cookie. Plot it in here downwards to the legs too. Create so a nice base layer. So let's then, okay, here is a part missing. And then blend that. So I take here then a paper stamp because it's a more narrow area, and blend over also over the shadows we have here below and on the left parts. I blend also over the shadow here at the bottom below, and blend over the whole base layer here of the golden ochre. We could also blend a little bit over the white because we go over them again. So blending just is a bit easier when you blend over them carefully. They will become a little bit yellowish, but does not matter. You could also take, for faster blending, take a cotton swab and just blend over it. Blend over these little buttons here and blend over the white and over the golden ochre. Just that we have a nice base layer. We will add then more details. So then let's take a black and draw these round eyes and make them also a little bit stand out. So first take a white and add some light reflections on the right, and then draw so black round little dots for the eyes. Let's try to make them really similar size, and add a lot of black, that they are really dark, so dark little round circles. Maybe I make that a little bit larger here. The highlight is a little bit more down. Add the highlight here a little bit more up. Yes. And then go around with a paper stamp and blend a bit around. Blend over the edges. Here I now have blended downwards with the black a bit. I add a bit more of the golden ochre. I don't want to have the shadow here below the eyes. More on the left. Here we could go in with a dark brown a bit and add a bit shadow on the left. Shadow of these eyes, because they are so little balls on top of the cookie. We can also take the brown and darken down here, so the left area. Here bring in a bit shadow, and here underneath go over with the dark brown and darken down here the whole area on the left. Here we have really to have a look, where is the shadow, where is the light. Here we can make it darker at the lower part. And also add a bit shadow here on the inner side of that sugar line. With here you have to add shadow with a darker pencil. On the left side of that sugar line. Also here, because it makes a bit of a bow, that cookie, then you can also add here shadow where it is going downwards. Here. Add also a bit shadow here on the inner side of that sugar line here. Add a bit shadow with the brown. Below the mouth, we could also do that with black for sure. Below the eyebrows. Maybe take then better a black. We will increase the shadow then. Maybe bring in also some other brown tones, so that we plot in a bit of a more reddish red here on the left side of that gingerbread man, or here above on top. Here where the hands are, just mixing different colors, or also here on the lower part, that we add here a bit of a darker red or a more reddish red. Also here on the lower areas of the legs here, bring in a bit of the reddish brown. Mix the layers. And use also the pencil for blending. So swipe over in little circles. Plot in the more red brown here a bit and mix the colors together. So the right The left side can be darker here. Here I also blot in a little bit the red here above. And so the red brown, not the red brown, maybe also here on the lower part a little bit. Just plot in a little bit of a second layer. We can also add some little strokes. Sometimes these gingerbreads have so little cracks in there. The surface is not so straight and smooth. We can also do that with a dark brown. So take, for example, a dark brown and add some little strokes into the structure here of the gingerbread, or darken down here some parts on the left with a little bit dark brown. Let it go here a bit downwards. We could also do that here on the left side of the leg, make it darker so that we have the illusion that it is a bit, so it makes a bit of a bow, or so has a bit of a heel here. Also the face can be a bit darker here on the left. Maybe also here below a little bit. Or the hand. Here the lower part we can also darken down. That's also in the shadow. Let's add a bit black then, maybe, and darken down even here the shadow parts a little bit more. And really here below a lot of black. Here we can also make it darker below. Or here it's also in the shadow, the light is coming from above. So think about what areas are not in the light and make them darker. Here the part on the left is also not in the light. Let's make it darker and blend a bit over it, so create nice transitions. This here below is also more in the shadow. Okay, and maybe add a bit of yellow for some highlights where the light is shining on the right here. Here above, maybe brighten that cookie up a little bit. Add a bit of a lighter color. Also in the face a bit on our right side. Let's add some lighter stripes, but let's blend a bit over, make that a bit softer. We could also swipe a little bit over with a terracotta, I would say, and color the whole gingerbread cookie man a bit orangey. I'll use it also, swipe over here between a little bit. Use the terracotta pencil for blending. It's a pit pastel pencil, but you can also use the pastel pencils for blending, mixing colors, blend layers together, create a soft, smooth surface. Add here some strokes, so a bit of a structure in the face. Blend around these sugar stripes here. I will go over then again with white for sure here. Blend a bit over it here. Okay, so now I lost a bit of footage of the video because the card was full and I did not recognize it. So sorry for it. So what I have done, I explain it. So after going in here a bit with the orange brown and swiping so over the whole surface, I also have taken a bit of brown and then stretched in some fine brown lines here everywhere to bring in a bit of a structure into that gingerbread. You can also go in a bit with a bit of a lighter color, stretch in some so little strokes, maybe sometimes also some a bit thicker strokes, or just use an ivory for brightening up some parts with very little pressure here on the gingerbread man. You can also take a black for sure and add some a little bit darker little indents or so darker lines. And what I have then done, I have added shadows. So I have explained that really in detail. The light source is coming from the right, and then you always have the shadow here on these sugar lines on the left and on the lower part. So go in here with the black and add here shadow. Add shadow here below on the lower part and on the left side of the black, of the white. Here also in the inner side of the white and below. I've also added a bit of the black here on the right side because it's going so a bit downwards. It's making a bit of hill here. This is deeper, then it is also shadow there, and here on the left also darken down here those parts that are on the opposite side of the light source. There no light is hitting. Also here below there is no light hitting, or here. These parts here below are also in the shadow. So think about the lamp and what parts are not hit by the light. Here above, maybe here is also a bit of shadow because of the head makes shadow on the upper part. Here not so much. Here it could be a little bit darker here below. So think about where it could be shadow, maybe also here near the hand. Yes, and below the mouth here also more on the left is more shadow. Also here on the eyebrows on the left we have shadow, and below, so to let them become three-dimensional. Here I also go in with a bit of a line in black because here it's deeper, and blend that a little bit because here it's going downwards. Add here shadow on the left. Okay. And then, so also for sure also do it here on these parts so that I don't forget to explain. I have already done that. Always below. We could also add a bit shadow, more shadow on the left side. And then blend this with a paper stamp. Also add shadow here on the left side, here in the inner part too. Then I also add here a bit shadow in the inner parts here. Have to make that a little bit better visible. And here below. I also add a bit shadow here, so around that we see that better. Yes, and then take white and brighten up this sugar line with white. So go over. I move the white here, so forwards and backwards, and try really to create a bit of a broader line. Go over all white parts, also the highlights in the eyes. create here some round edges so that they are really a bit, so how broad you would like them. Just draw over it and make them whiter. You move it forwards and backwards to make this line more opaque and more white, more brilliant. Go over the same line here more often. Here, forwards and backwards, just that it is brilliant white, more brilliant white. I also press here more that these lines are showing up. I use here the charcoal because it's a bit harder, and here we can press a little bit more without that the pencil breaks. Also here. And move it also forwards and backwards when I want to make that a little bit more opaque. Okay, and also go in here in the inner part on these little dots a little bit with the white. Here, let's bring in a little bit blue as shadow on them. Swipe over with a light blue a little bit. We could also add a little bit blue on the left sides of these sugar lines to bring in a little bit of shadow. Very gently, not too much. Maybe also here a little bit, swipe over on the left where we have a bit shadow here, where it is a little bit in the shadow, bring in a little bit of the blue or on the inner parts. Here we can also go in a little bit with, let's say, a bit of a darker blue and add some dark little blue dots here to have a third color in. And go over with a brilliant white then again and brighten up the white. I take the pit, sharpen it a little bit, and then just make here maybe the side on the right a bit brighter. Make them really round. Okay, so this looks fun. You could always also brighten up maybe with some yellow strokes here, the parts where the light hits on our right side here. Okay, then draw some background elements. Let's take the white, and I would say we bring in here below a little bit of snow. But first, let's do a bit of a golden ground. Take a golden ochre or any yellowish ochre brown you have and plot that in here below. For the background, I try here really to cover the background really well. The gray paper, maybe mix it a little bit with a lighter ochre. Let's have a look how that shows up. No, that's also not lighter. Let's take maybe mix it a bit with ivory. So I go in a little bit with an ivory Rembrandt stick, so a soft pastel stick. I would like to have a bit more contrast to the Gingerbread Man, so that it is here popping up a bit more. Mix the golden ochre with ivory, and then I blend this here with a soft blending tool, or take your cotton swabs and paper stamps. Blend also with the shadow carefully here below we have here to add shadow then again. So just to swipe over a bit upwards, downwards, or better from the left to the right to create here a bit of a floor or a table. Then go in with the black again here below, bring in shadow below so that it looks like as this cookie, this gingerbread man is stays. So standing up. And add here the shadow on the left. Then blend that a bit, let it fade a bit, blend over with the paper stamp. So in circles. And what I then do, I take a white pastel stick and a craft knife. So I just have to look, where is my white? Here. I have the white Rembrandt stick and a craft knife, and let's create here maybe so it looks a bit like sugar or snow. Bring in those, just so stretch over and cut off a little bit of the pastel pigment dust and put it in here so below it looks a bit like snow or sugar. Don't worry if you have a bit of that on the gingerbread man. I will push that then on the paper and the rest blow away, so I will not make it too thick, but so you can create here, it looks a bit like the a dusty sugar, so that you use for baking. Okay, and then I take just simply the finger and push that pigment very carefully a bit on the paper and then blow away the rest. And so then we have here so a nice sugar or snow background. You could also go in a bit with the pencil and add some little dots if you would like to refine it and make it here. So add some little darker details, or we could also go in with the blue a little bit in the shadow here below the gingerbread man and swipe over a little bit with the blue here, that also where the shadow is, that we darken it down again. It is not so white here in the shadow areas. And I take also the black and correct the outlines of the gingerbread man again here below. So it is also here darker below for sure. And go over once more a little bit in circles here with the black to darken down my shadow, especially near the subject. It's always darker directly below the subject here. Okay, then let's draw some branches of our evergreen trees here above. So plot in a little bit dark green. Here behind the gingerbread man, we can also bring in the green right away a little bit as background. Here I want to draw a pink Christmas ornament, but plot in here the green a little bit. Let it go into the background then. I add also then I think a little bit black for contrast, so that you go in with the black between the evergreen leaves. Needles. I'm not sure if you say needles in English. I have to Google that, but we say needles to evergreen leaves. Okay. Add here really contrast below and add here so black between the green. Let's bring in here dark around our gingerbread man, but blend it here together with the green. I I add also here black between these branch needles or leaves. Bring in a bit darker color here between. And blend that with a paper stamp or a cotton swab. Here, blend it around our gingerbread man. Then I also go here, so over. Blend everything. Remove grit. Can also blend wildly over so that everything is smooth. You can also take a cotton swab and blend over there to remove gritty parts. Okay, then go over with, I go over once more with a dark green, just to bring in once more some green strokes here in. And then go over with, let's take again the mint or take a light green, whatever colors you would like to bring in. I take here, so a bit of a mint green for another layer. Here. Add some mint green and leaves, needles. Here too, to bring in a bit of green. Evergreen branches here behind. You can also bring in a little bit of light green for sure. If you would like to make them a little bit more greenish. Add some light green and finally go over with white or with ivory. So add with a white, some white highlight strokes here. Oops. Sometimes these, so this is a very short white. It is nearly disappeared here in the pencil holder. But I use them really until they are gone. With the pencil holders, this really works well. You can also find a link below in the description. Okay, then let's draw this little Christmas ornament. Let's plot in a little bit pink in the middle. Here, bring in a bit pink in the middle, or let's plot in pink here everywhere. We already have here a bit of a highlight drawn. And then take a bit of a darker, I take so a darker violet red to add a bit shadow on the left, or darken it down a bit with the black, not too much black, but bring in a bit black here, so in circles. We can take the paper stamp and blend that. You can make it smooth. Smooth transitions, or let this a bit rougher structure, however you like it. I blend also over the highlight a bit. Blend over the edges. Darken down here the left part again a little bit with circles. You can add a bit of a structure. Go over in the middle with the pink again. We can also brighten that up either with a bit of a flesh color, a lighter pink color here, and bring in a bit highlights, a lighter pink around the white highlight section. Swipe over so a little bit in circles. Take the paper stamp, blend the middle part again if the colors are not going into each other. And take white then for the brilliant sparkling highlight. Maybe also go in a bit in circles or add some little dots around, and also blend it a bit that the edges are a bit blurry. Take then for this metal part above an ochre. So take a golden ochre and plot that in here above a bit. Go in with a black for these darker shadow parts. Also again on the left side it's darker. And also here below a little bit on the lower side, darken it down and add with an ivory also some highlights between. Then I also take a golden color, so a Rembrandt stick here, so it's a bit orangey for the background. It's more an orange color, so I would say a terracotta mixed with white, so a nice light orange. Plot that in here behind the gingerbread man and blend it a bit with these blending tools. So here blend carefully around the Christmas ornament. Blend here carefully. Blow away loose pastel powder. We can also take the cotton swabs for blending. Blend around the little sweet gingerbread man. So I create also here a bit of blurry transitions. You can also go over with the finger for sure, but should not swipe over the gingerbread here. Correct that a bit with the black. Create sharp outlines again here. Going over upwards and downwards with the black, or here above. Let's make it here a bit broader with the burnt sienna brown. Move here also the pencil forward and backward. We can also go here over with the brown a bit on the upper part. And here too, that we bring in a bit brown, that it's not so black. Okay. Then I go in with a bit of a vanilla yellow and add maybe some sparkling lights that are here in the background, or brighten them even up a bit with white if there is not too much contrast. Then go in a bit with some white little dots. Let's also add maybe some blue little dots in the background, or why not also some pinks, as we have that here in the Christmas ornament. Play a bit and blend over them with a cotton swab. Carefully over the lighter ones first. Maybe then we're over the blues. And I also take another edge for the pinks. Yes, maybe take a yellow again and go over them. Mix some more yellowish. I also add here below a little bit of yellow. Just play a bit with the background here. I have the feeling something is missing. Let's add here also a small branch. Let's add here a branch that is coming here out behind the little gingerbread man. Let's add here also a bit of green and go in with the black. here too. Add some black strokes and blend over it. Blend over it with the paper stamp. Then I add a bit of the turquoise. And a bit of white. Okay, maybe I go over with the brown once more in the middle. Yes, we could also maybe add here and there some little stains or so strokes on the ground and make it so a little bit like wood, or give it a bit of a structure of just that it's not so only one color. We could also bring in here a little bit of brown color in the back, or just that there are more different colors in the background. Swipe a bit around these little dots and add a bit of brown here too, and then swipe over with a cotton swab. Blend that brown and make it blurry. I also swipe a little bit over with the finger and blend everything together. You could then just go in with the yellow once more and make these little dots more brilliant again. Swipe over a little bit carefully with the finger, or go in with an orange, brown and terracotta and add some little dots, or again with the blue. Sometimes also just blending with the finger works for these blurry backgrounds. A bit pink. So maybe also a bit white. With the soft pastel sticks, you can bring in brilliant white and blend a bit over. Okay, so I think that's sweet. I add here a signature. So I hope you like that. Something different, another subject to draw. But we have also focused on bringing in lights and shadows into that gingerbread man to create a 3D effect. Okay, then it's finished. Great! I hope you enjoyed bringing these little gingerbread men to life on paper. I hope you had practiced bringing lights and shadows into your drawings and contrast. If you would like to see more lessons here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I also invite you to join the waitlist to my membership Animal Art Club. We will open the doors soon. I teach you there how to draw realistic animal portraits with pastels, and I will also include fun drawing lessons and landscapes next year. Here you find another video here on YouTube you might be interested in, and yes, then I hope I see you tomorrow. Enjoy drawing. Bye!